In today's news, we see the Omar Hodge monument, which was recently commissioned at the wharf, being ripped apart, essentially vandalized by persons in that area. Also, fully vaccinated travelers to quarantine for 0 to 1 day, as we see also increased days for unvaccinated travelers. We also see that a local active case of COVID-19, that case has been traced as a case of local transmission. So the health minister is saying it's definitely as a result of community spread. We also see senior students returning to school, the Elmore Stoutt High School from Monday, May 10th, and Paraquita Bay farmers finally having 24 access water after decades. All that and so much more on today's edition of 284 News.
The win.
What in the hell?
I'm freaking out.
Is about these people.
It's always a pleasure coming to you live and direct from the...
What's poppin'? What's really good?
Davis has won it for the
A warm BVI welcome to one and all. It is Friday, a fantastic Friday here in the beautiful British Virgin Islands, of course. My name is Javon Wilson, coming to you live out of 284 Media with your daily dose of 284 News. Now, topping our headlines today, we see the recently unveiled monument of former legislator and 6th District Representative, the late Omar Wallace Hodge, last night being vandalized. Now, the structure, worth some $4,500, was found with the head on the ground. Now, Honorable Maduro Keynes, who actually saw the project into fruition, said, and I quote, "This is ridiculous, not to mention heartbreaking to me. So many years trying to get this done. All I wanted to do is create a place of relaxation for the people of District 6. So ridiculous." End of quote. Now, viewers, just really a sad situation as the monument was commissioned just about 10 days ago. And we do see residents from the 6th District as well saying that they will ensure that they figure out who did this. Now, the Minister of Health, Honorable Carvin Malone, has said that one of the current 25 active cases of COVID-19 was contracted locally. He said the person had no recent travel history, and more than likely it is a case of community spread. Further on, the quarantine period for unvaccinated travelers have now been increased from 7 days. So it is now 7 days, and that was increased from the initial 4-day requirement. And as we move on, farmers in Paraquita Bay now have 24-hour access to water, an age-old issue that was resolved by the overseeing minister, Dr. the Honorable Natalia Whitley, in collaboration with the Minister of Works and Utilities, Honorable Kai Raima. Now, the Minister of Agriculture said, and I quote, "I am pleased to say the Water and Sewage Department team was in Paraquita Bay just about a month straight, and they did not stop until the farmers now have water. There is water now in Paraquita Bay 24 hours, I might add." End of quote. Now, viewers, as we dive into today's newscast, today we saw the Minister of Health and Social Development, Honorable Carvin Malone, laying out details about what will take effect from May 15th for fully vaccinated travelers. If you missed it, listen in.
As previously announced, effective May 15th, 2021, travelers who have been fully vaccinated with the final dose administered at least 14 days before travel will be immediately released from quarantine once their arrival test is negative. However, this will not apply to persons traveling from or through Brazil or India. Cabinet has decided to amend the list of restricted countries under the Immigration and Passport, this is the Prohibition of Entry Order 2021, to apply only to Brazil and India. Persons traveling from those countries who are granted permission to enter the Virgin Islands will be required to quarantine for a period of 14 days on arrival, that is from India and Brazil. Fully vaccinated travelers from all other countries will require the BVI Gateway Travel Authorization Certificate at a cost of $105. This is reduced from $175. They will require proof of a negative RT-PCR COVID-19 test taken 3 to 5 days before arrival. They'll require proof of vaccination status. Also, the RT-PCR 19 test upon arrival and quarantine until the return of a negative test results. Where fully vaccinated persons are traveling with one or more unvaccinated children aged 5 to 17 will be tested on arrival. Children will be released from quarantine together with their parents or guardians once the test results for the entire group are negative, but must remain within their family bubble, and unvaccinated children will be subjected to a further test on day 4. So although they will be released, they would have to return for a day 4 test. That is children between the ages of 5 and 17.
Now, viewers, the minister also addressed requirements for fully vaccinated day trippers as well, and mentioned that unvaccinated travelers will now have to quarantine for 7 days as opposed to the previous 4-day requirement. Listen in.
We turn now to the concessions that have been made for fully vaccinated persons who have been present in the Virgin Islands for more than 14 consecutive days and wish to travel to the U.S. Virgin Islands, travel to St. Martin, or to Puerto Rico for a period not longer than 24 hours, a 1-day travel. As previously announced, with effect from 15th of May 2021, outgoing day trippers to these neighboring jurisdictions will be exempt from quarantine and the COVID-19 test upon re-entering the BVI, but would be required to take a PCR test 7 days after returning to the territory. At its meeting held on the 5th of May 2021, Cabinet further decided that a person seeking to be certified as a day tripper should apply for re-entry through the gateway prior to departing from the Virgin Islands. The gateway fee would be reduced to $70. Day trippers will be allowed to travel with children who are under 5 years old. Refusal by a returning day tripper to undergo the day 7 testing would attract a fixed penalty of $5,000 or a court penalty of $10,000 on summary conviction. After carefully considering both the wish to re-enter the territory to tourism and the need to mitigate the risk arising from increased travel, particularly arising from the new COVID-19 variants, Cabinet decided that the quarantine period for unvaccinated travelers will be extended from 4 days to 7 days. Where people are traveling in mixed groups with some individuals unvaccinated, the entire party will be treated as unvaccinated and will be required to quarantine for 7 days upon arrival. In the case of persons who are only partially vaccinated, meaning that they have received 1 dose of a 2-dose vaccine, or whose final vaccine dose was administered less than 2 weeks before arrival in the territory, a 4-day quarantine period will be required, with the PCR testing administered on arrival and on day 4. Finally, Cabinet has requested that the HEOC present recommendations for rapid or PCR testing for frontline workers and public officers. We will continue to sound the alarm that vaccination is our best defense against the relentless COVID-19 pandemic.
Now, viewers, the Minister of Health has very big ambitions to vaccinate over 5,000 persons by the 31st of this month. That is May 31st. Of course, we do know there is an expiration date on these vaccines, or else they would need to be shipped out if not used locally. And though they are still not mandatory, he is still imploring persons to take the jab. Let's watch.
In one of the active cases, there was no recent travel history, which means that the virus was acquired locally. The 34,000 doses of vaccines donated to the British Virgin Islands by the UK, or the United Kingdom and Dominica will allow for a total of 17,000 persons to receive 2 doses of vaccines each. To date, 10,462 persons have received their first dose, while 2,034 persons have received their second doses of the AstraZeneca vaccines administered in the territory. Without apology, it is this government's intention to intensify the education process aimed at encouraging the remaining 6,538 persons to voluntarily be vaccinated at any of the centers by the 31st of May 2021. Following this date, an assessment will be made in relation to the remaining doses, of which we hope there would be none. Of the next 25 days, or for the next 25 days, all hands and voices will be required to assist our ambitious goal. While this may anger some anti-vaxxers, it is our duty to be steadfast in purpose in this regard. Several leaders are grappling with the question of mandatory vaccination as a means of keeping the population safe while reopening the internal economies. To be clear, crystal clear, the Virgin Islands government will not be requiring mandatory vaccinations for its residents. There is no room for irresponsible tabloid journalism in this regard. The choice is yours to freely make. Let us be.
Now, viewers, as we move on, senior students at the Elmore Stoutt High School are now permitted to return to school on Monday, May 10th, using the hybrid/shift system. Now, this was confirmed by the Minister of Education, Dr. the Honorable Natalio D. Wheatley, who said, and I quote, "I am now pleased to announce that having engaged with the relevant stakeholders, we are now ready to implement the planned shift system to have all senior students attending classes 5 days a week with effect from Monday, May 10th. He said students were previously divided in groups for scheduling purposes, so there will be 2 shifts, with the morning shift beginning at 8:40 a.m. and ending at 11:55 a.m. for groups 10A, 11A, and 12A. The afternoon shift will be for students in Group B and will begin at 12:40 p.m. and end at 3:55 p.m. Now, transportation will be provided for students to move between campuses to attend the technical/lab classes, the minister added. Now, Minister Whitley also addressed concerns on reduced class times. He said, and I quote once again, "I am aware that some persons have expressed concern about the reduced instructional time for single sessions, but please be assured that we are also considering additional measures to support our students. I also wish to reiterate that students will continue to do practice exercises, homework, and other activities when they are not attending face-to-face sessions. The use of our Google Classrooms and other online platforms will continue as teachers will supplement their contact sessions using the platform." Now, viewers, for those students who utilize the government subsidized bus programs, Minister Whitley said, and I quote, "Please note that the buses will pick up and drop off students to meet their shift sessions. Parents are therefore asked to make contact with the relevant bus drivers to make arrangements based on their children's schedule. Parents who regularly transport their children to and from school will continue to do so." Now, with respect to our students from Jos Van Dyke, students will be expected to come over on the regularly scheduled time, be transported by bus from West End and report to school. A dedicated space is being provided for students who will be in the afternoon and morning shift, where they can complete assignments until their class time or their departure time. Accommodation has also been made available for students on the afternoon shift to be able to leave at 3:30 p.m. to catch the 4 p.m. ferry. Now, viewers, parents are being asked to note that the shift system that is being implemented, there will be no need for lunch breaks, as it is expected that students on the morning shift will eat lunch after they leave school campus, and those attending the afternoon shift would have already had lunch prior to arriving at the campus. Parents are also reminded to provide their children with a personal hand sanitizer. Now, viewers, just recently, Cabinet had decided to reduce the 6 feet social distancing requirement of 6 feet to 3 feet to facilitate an increase in the number of students being able to access on-site instruction in schools throughout the territory. Now, viewers, we do know that on May 3rd, our students were scheduled to return to school. However, the minister announced made a sudden announcement, that the students wouldn't be able to do so and that he would update the public accordingly. Here we see our students being able to return to school come Monday, May 10th. Now, still ahead of the break, the BVI is now building mental and psychosocial capacity, and HIREBVI is now set to host their second annual career exposition. So stick with us for more after this quick commercial break. Viewers, welcome back to 284 News. Now, the government of the Virgin Islands continues to invest in strengthening mental health and building community resilience of its people through the Mental Health and Psychosocial Support Project. Now, the project was launched as a result of the collaboration between the Ministry of Health and Social Development, the BVI Health Services Authority, and the Pan American Health Organization in an effort to build capacity, support resilience, and empower the community to manage in the event of a disaster. The Mental Health and Psychosocial Support Project came about after the hurricanes of 2017 to address the psychological and emotional issues that resulted from the devastation caused by the storms. In 2020, the project was repurposed to include elements to assist persons with dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, psychiatrist and co-coordinator of the project, Dr. June Samuel, said, and I quote, "The objective of the project is to build local capacity for the delivery of the MHPSS in disaster preparedness, response, and management within the health sector and broader community. The project also sought to build community resilience and establish actions plans, of course, for emergency preparedness on the community level. The campaign was executed through a series of webinars, posters, videos, social media updates, workshops, and public service announcements. So much work was done and assistance provided that when COVID-19 hit, we wanted to include an element to address new concerns that arose as a result." That was Dr. June Samuel. Now, according to Dr. Samuel, the project is now being relaunched to promote mental wellness and resilience. She said, and I quote, "As we are winding down the project, we wanted to include elements that assist individuals to improve their mental health and build resilience individually so that collectively we can be a stronger community." Now, viewers, the Mental Health and Psychosocial Support campaign will run from May 1st until June 30th. During this time, the community will be able to tune in to various mediums to learn more about how they can help build capacity, support resilience, and become an empowered community. The information will also be disseminated through webinars, interviews, radio ads, informational flyers, and social media update. Now, in closing, Dr. June Samuel said, we invite you to listen out for our campaign deliverables on our local media as we seek to build a more resilient community. Now, the government of the Virgin Islands is committed to strengthening mental health and building community resilience. As we move on, this year we see HIREBVI hosting its second annual career exposition. This is now set for Friday, May 28th at 10 a.m., of course, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Cyril B. Romney Tertolo Pier Park. Now, the career exposition under the theme, Show Me the Way, a Roadmap to Employment, will expose participants to careers, job opportunities, and educational options in the British Virgin Islands. Now, Rakima Turnbull, the managing director, noted that, and I quote, leading up to the career exposition, HIREBVI hosted a career readiness workshop in April in Tortola, and will be hosting the same workshop again on May 8th on a virtual platform. It was important for us to once again host this event, especially given the current economic climate. The workshops are important because the workshops prepare the job seekers for what is expected of them in the world of employment, end of quote. Now, viewers, the career exposition will provide a space for employers, community partners, and other professionals to meet with job seekers. Job seekers should also attend the career exposition well prepared, of course, professionally dressed and groomed, with a winning resume in hand. For more information about this career exposition and, of course, career readiness workshop, you can call 442-4473. Again, that number is 442-4473, or you can email info@hirebvi.com or visit their website at hirebvi.com. So exciting. We are definitely looking forward to that. Definitely the last one was touted a major success, well supported by businesses as well as prospective employees, and a great opportunity for networking as well. So we do look forward to seeing you there. Now, still ahead of the break, we see winners being announced in the student desert competition that was hosted recently at the Agricultural Fair, and a Virgin Islander becoming the first U.S. Navy commander, as I should say, the first from the Virgin Islands. He's also the first officer pilot flying the Airbus A320 with Delta Airlines. All the details after this very quick commercial break.
Gentlemen, inspiring gentlemen, and our partners that hold us down. It's season 2 of The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, taking you on the most inspiring journey with the best and brightest distinguished gentlemen of the BVI. Raw, real-life lessons that translate to grounded, community-minded, well-rounded men like you've never seen them before. Governor Augustus J.U. Jaspert, Jovan Klein, Neil Klein, and so much more. Turning modern-day men into 21st century distinguished gentlemen with yours truly, Ron Grant, a 284 Media production.
Viewers, welcome back to 284 News. Now, just recently we celebrated our agricultural fair major success. Now, the desert competitions for secondary and tertiary school students were held as part of the activities in observance of the Farmers and Fishers Week 2021. Now, Dr. the Honorable Natalio Wheatley, Deputy Premier and Minister for Education, Culture, Youth Affairs, Fisheries and Agriculture, pointed to the connection between the competitions and the BVI hospitality industry. The minister said, and I quote, "The desert competitions were extremely important because there is a great potential for our local agriculture and fishing industry to be linked to our hospitality industry. Our locals and visitors alike enjoy eating out, and using locally grown and caught food greatly enhances and highlights the uniqueness of our culinary experience," end of quote. Now, viewers, the first competition held on the Department of Agriculture's grounds in Paraquita Bay was among secondary school students from schools across the territory, including the Elmore Stoutt High School, the Virgin Islands School of Technical Studies, the BVI Seventh-day Adventist School, St. George's Secondary School, Cedar International School, and the Claudio Criqui Educational Center. All participants were required to incorporate coconut in their desserts, and that were judged on aroma, texture and consistency, flavor, and appearance and creativity. Videos and posters of the students preparing their desserts were also factored into the students' overall score. Prizes were then awarded in 3 different categories. You had cakes, pies, and then of course cookies/dessert bars. Now the prizes for the best individual cake was awarded to Johannes Block of Cedar International School, while Lauren Baptiste and Denisha White of the BVI Seventh-day Adventist School took home the prize for the best team cake. Now the best pie award was given to Benjamin Moore of Siboney Center for Excellence. Michaela Smith of Siboney Center for Excellence took home the prize for best individual cookie/dessert bar. Now the BVI Seventh-day Adventist School was also awarded a prize for having the most students participate in the competition. All students took home a certificate of participation. Now the second dessert competition was held at the Exhibition and Market Day on Saturday, May 1st for students at the tertiary level. The students, all of whom attend the HIREBVI Stoutt Community College, were also required to incorporate coconut into every dessert. Now, the Mrs. Carolyn Stoutt Igwisari, she is the permanent secretary at the Ministry of Education, Culture, Youth Affairs, Fisheries, and Agriculture. She said the decisions to hold a dessert competition was a means of getting students involved in the week of activities, of course, to commemorate farmers and fishers. She said, and I quote, "The coconut was selected because of its versatility. We wanted to feature local fruits as the main ingredient for the desserts to provide some context for the students. I was very pleased with the level of creativity and enthusiasm displayed among the students and the quality of their presentations," end of quote. Now, viewers, the Department of Agriculture and Fisheries is committed to ensuring the sustainable production, harvest, and supply of safe, high-quality food by regulating the agricultural and fishery sectors. As we move on, Virgin Islander and St. Croix native John Mahagny was sworn in as the commander of the U.S. Navy at Naval Air Station Oceana, Virginia on Wednesday, representing yet another notable Virgin Islander leading major roles on the mainland. Now, CDR Magani, is also an Atlanta-based first officer flying the Airbus A320 with Delta Airlines. He was born on St. Croix to parents Leonard and Lauren Magani. Now, after graduation from Country Day School in 2000, Commander he received a full Navy ROTC scholarship to attend the Georgia Institute of Technology. He graduated with a Bachelor of Science degree in Mechanical Engineering, receiving his commission as a naval officer in December of 2004. He was also selected to begin Navy pilot training and reported for pre-flight indoctrination in Florida back in June of 2005, followed by primary flight in Corpus Christi, Texas, flying the T-34C. Now from there, he was selected to fly helicopters and went to Milton, Florida for advanced training in the TH-57, earning his Wings of Gold in 2007. Now, upon completing initial fleet training with the HS-10 Warhawks in 2007, the commander joined his first operational squadron with the HS-6 Indians at Naval Air, and we saw him continuing on to do really, really great things. Now, his squadron was attached to the Carrier Air Wing 11 and did multiple deployments with the USS. And of course, he continued with his very extensive and very colorful career. Now, after those assignments, the CDR reported for instructor duty in March 2011. And today we see him really moving up the ladder and doing amazing things. Of course, again, hailing from St. Croix, we want to send hearty congratulations to this new commander. He definitely flying the Virgin Islands flag high, and we want to say congratulations to him. But for now, viewers, that is all the time we have. We want to thank you so much for rocking with us once again down to the end of another amazing week of news here at 284 News, where we deliver your local, regional, as well as international content. I want to wish you a happy weekend as well. But if you have some time over the weekend, do remember to check out our website. That is 284media.com. We're also on Facebook at 284media. And if you're on Instagram and Twitter, you can get us at 284BVI. Until next week, have a great one. My name is Javon Wilson, saying thank you so much for joining us, and we hope to see you again on Monday, 6 p.m. sharp. Take care.